Press.
What's up, y'all? We watching the AFC Championship game right now. Um,
Say words, son.
so we're hoping that Buffalo knocks off Kansas City. That is what we would like to see happen. We will see if that happens.
Let me put this up and give me a little bit more.
Like,
We back in the building.
right? So hopefully, you know,
Hopefully, I leave here happy.
yeah.
Cause last time I ain't leave here happy either.
Well,
Not too
I can't.
much. Not too
I
much. Big
can't.
Will.
I
Not
can't.
that ain't for you to start. That's not too much. You know what I'm saying? Not too much.
Yeah, I can't help you with
Yeah.
that one, man. That
Yeah,
that
man.
was
The Big
in
Will
this
is we
scenario.
good though.
In
We
this
we don't
scenario, we
need.
both going for the
All
same
right.
team.
Yeah. Yeah.
In this scenario, we both going for the same team. So, but yeah, I hope Buffalo can pull through. I don't know, man. Like you can call me a Kansas City hater. Like at this point, I kind of am. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna front. Like
They starting to get me up there
yeah,
like
the
how
re,
it was with the Patriots when it
yeah
comes to
the reality is it's kind of
I'm
getting
just
there.
tired of. I'm just tired of. Even though they say that Kansas City ain't the most penalized team, I'm tired of seeing them get the most. It seems like they get the most favorable calls.
Yeah, yeah,
You can sit
definitely.
there and say that oh they've been on TV the most. That's the reason why. I don't care. It seems like they always get the most favorable calls at opportune times
Yeah.
to win games, and it happens consistently.
Oh yeah, it
So,
does. It does.
um, that's where I'm at with it.
No,
If they were just winning because it's just they just straight
it's
up better than teams, it'd be a different
it'd be a
story,
different story. That's yeah,
And then
exactly.
and then on top of that, I don't want to hear nothing. I'm ready to hear. I don't want to hear nothing about no Taylor Swift and all this other
Yeah, I already
extra
seen a couple things on
outside
that.
of
Yeah,
celebrity. I don't care.
yeah. I don't. You know what I mean? Like, man, that Taylor Swift, that ship has sailed, man. Y'all can stop showing her every time Kelsey catches the
Bro,
ball.
like every single time.
Every time he catches the ball, like that ship has sailed. Let that go. Like
Facts.
for real. Let that one go.
And it's so bad because I'm an Andy Reid fan. I like Andy Reid. I like him as a coach.
Yeah. Yeah, Sean. We're hoping that Buffalo beats the refs.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
We're
facts.
we're hoping.
Big facts.
Yeah, we're hoping Buffalo beats the refs. And you like you said, I like Andy Reid too. Like I'm a fan of Andy Reid, but I don't know, man. Like I'm
Look, flag. Bitches a hold.
on Buffalo. Yeah. Let's see.
He's standing over there too long. It's a hold.
See what it is.
Oh, that's probably something that.
Uh, it sounds like he told them. Uh, yeah.
Oh, there it is. It is what it is. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a legit.
Yeah, but
Legit.
that
It is
yeah.
what it is.
And you know what, man? It ain't even so much like it's more of just the calls that Mahomes seems to get. Like when you're
I
getting
don't even just say Mahomes. It's just
I,
Kansas City.
Kansas
Just
City,
they either gonna
but
get a call or something's not going to be
get
called
called
against them.
yeah against them. That should be. That's like just kind of blatant. And we've seen that all year.
Yeah.
You know,
The most egregious one was the Atlanta one.
yeah, yeah.
Boy got
Early in the
pass
season.
interference in the end zone. They don't
Yeah.
call it.
Okay.
But those are the things that make you just not like it. It's just like,
Because
every
you
time you
see it
turn
so
around, you
much.
see this team. Seems that they don't never get called for anything, or they always get a call going their way. You
Yeah,
just kind of be like, bro, really?
yeah, exactly.
I'll be all right if everything goes the same way all the time. Keep it
Yeah.
consistent. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? If you're gonna call it on another one,
Even
call
if
it on the other
even
team.
if that officiating crew, they're known to let these things ride. Let it ride for both teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let it ride for both teams. Because you know when people when, when you have a nation of people that feel the same way, like clearly something. You know what I mean? Like this
Yeah.
ain't. I mean, radio is talking about this. Announcers are talking. Everybody's talking about the
Because
officials.
they see what's then happen. I
Yeah.
mean, you literally seen it on TV what it transpires after all those
Yeah.
plays.
Yeah.
So it ain't like it's just some phantom thing that people ain't noticing.
Right.
People are noticing this.
Right.
They're like literally they're noticing that this team is literally getting more favorable calls
Yeah.
than other teams, or they're getting things that are should be called against them not called against them.
Yeah.
So you just watching this in real time, and it's just like
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't care what you say about whatever stats is. Video don't lie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you got a quarterback like Mahomes that has been trying to actually get penalties to be thrown.
Yeah. Like the stopping on the sideline
Yeah.
so that. Oh yeah, that ain't catchable, but
Man, he threw that out of bounds
yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Hey, I need to see that same Allen that was taking off running everywhere, like he did against Baltimore. Now he want to be looking upfield when he scramble. He'll never be doing that.
Now they changing it, right?
Yeah,
Start to see a difference.
yeah. I want to see the Allen that. Do y'all think we can see a new rule made on the field tonight? Tuck Rule 2.0.
Oh boy, don't get
Ho-
me started.
hopefully
Boy,
not.
I would lose my whole entire.
You
Boy.
can assure if that happened, and
I don't care if it's for Buffalo or Kansas City.
Yeah,
If I see something like that, it's
I'll
no.
be pissed.
nah.
I
I don't
would
want to
be
see it.
very upset if I saw something like that. Cause you gotta that hits a different. Even talking about the Tuck Rule,
Boy, that hits a different
way.
nerve.
That hits a
Yeah.
different nerve with me.
I ain't even a Raiders fan.
Well, I'm a Rams fan, so
Not go back all the way back to the first Tuck Rule that ever came out, and I'm just like, that's just BS.
So as a Rams fan, when that happened, obviously we had to play them in the Super Bowl. I'm like, we shouldn't even been playing them, but like, that made me feel like because of everything that happened that year and stuff, like they wanted the New England Patriots
Oh yeah,
to win that. You know what I mean? That
yeah.
that's how I felt.
they needed that.
Yeah.
They needed that great hope.
Yeah. So I'm talking about the Tuck thing, man. That hits different. It hits different.
I already told you how I feel about any quarterback that if a quarterback is, I don't care if your arm is coming forward and it ain't already been released when you threw like this and you trying to come back down.
Yeah.
If you get hit,
You fumbled
that's
the ball.
a fumble.
That's a fumble.
I don't
You
care
fumbled the ball.
what. I don't want to hear no. His arm was going forward and he
Yeah.
got hit.
Yeah,
and he
you-
no.
You fumbled the ball. Oh, damn.
Now
Speaking of
now we're
fumble.
gonna be fumbled.
Yeah.
This is what we doing
yeah,
today.
Yeah. Come on, Josh Allen now. Come on. Like, you supposed to be considered, the guy that's gonna beat Mahomes. Like, don't be. Come on now.
Don't make me start thinking they done paid you off to lose this game. Man. Don't make me do it, man. Because NFL already get a lot of flack. And then he barely even covered up the fumble just did.
Yeah. All right now, don't. Shakira's had a good season this year too.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good season. He's the thing is, man. Either way, so like let's say Josh Allen has not so good game tonight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Kansas City wins. They're gonna crucify Josh Allen and say in the big moments they're gonna do him the same way they do Lamar. And I don't think it's fair to either one of them because neither one of them, like, you got to think about how many it's a rarity to see quarterbacks do that in their first 6 years.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
that's
that's a
true.
rarity.
That's true.
It took some, like you have you have some that have done it, but it ain't. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like
To the degree that they're doing it
to
is
the
kind
yeah,
of
exactly.
yeah.
Like it's unfair to call them because first of all, to make it to the AFC Championship is a task in itself. That's already, you
Yeah,
know what I mean.
yeah.
But then to trash a quarterback for making it to the AFC, you know what I mean? Like you gotta, especially given the history of Buffalo. Like Jim Kelly went to the Super Bowl 4 times,
Yeah.
never won, never won 4 times.
That's
You
tough.
he Here's the thing, Jim Kelly. It's in my opinion, it's hard to have a conversation about quarterbacks and not mention Jim Kelly because he is one of the greatest. You
Yeah,
can't say
it's
dude,
pretty good.
you
He was
made it
pretty
to the
good.
Super
Yeah.
Bowl 4 times. 4 times. You know what I mean? Like that's
Shoot. Matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it 4 years in a row or three?
it was
I know
three
it's
in a
three in a
row.
row.
Yeah, it
Then
was three in a
it was like
row.
3 out of 5,
Yeah,
4 out of 5 years or something like
yeah,
that.
because
I know
it
it
was they
was.
made it, lost. I want to they did they lose against Buffalo? I mean against Washington. They lost to Washington, I believe. Then they or did they lose to New York? Or did
I think it was New York.
I think it was New York. They might have lost to New York, and
Well,
then they
those are the
lost.
four teams though,
It,
because they lost twice to the Cowboys,
they lost. I believe they might have lost twice. Were you sure it wasn't three to the Cowboys?
twice to the
Twice
Cowboys,
to the
because
Cowboys.
Cowboys only two. They do two. They back to
Yeah, that
back
with that. Yeah,
or
yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it
No,
was that back. You're right. It
something
was
like that.
that
So they
back to
lost
back.
twice to the Cowboys. They lost to New York and they lost to Washington.
Washington. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But even to go 4 times to the Super Bowl,
Yeah, that's hard.
that's hard.
That's hard.
So like, but even like going to that.
Could you imagine if they won those four?
Oh wow, yeah. But we Jim Kelly would be looked at in a whole different light.
Oh yeah,
Like his name would be mentioned so much
yeah.
more.
Because you don't never hear nothing about them though.
Nobody
You don't
ever.
hear nothing about Jim Kelly. You don't hear about Thurman Thomas. The only
Nope.
person you really hear about is Bruce Smith.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Rightfully so,
Right. But you
those
have to,
other those other folks.
they had a solid
Yeah.
team. They had a
Was
solid
it
team.
Andre Reed,
Andre Reed.
Don Beebe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they had a squad.
Yeah.
They had a squad out there.
Yeah, they did.
That was a tough Buffalo squad.
Sean says 4 in a row.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
I thought.
4 in a
I
row,
knew they
yeah.
went 4 times in a
Okay,
row.
yeah, 4 in a row.
So imagine if you would have won four straight. That'd have
I
been four
know.
straight Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody go to the Super Bowl 4 times in a row.
No.
Consecutive year after year
No,
after year.
not just them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Dope, because they're on a three-peat, possible three-peat.
They're on a possible three-peat.
But Cincinnati broke that up because Cincinnati was first one to put a loss on Kansas City
yeah.
before they got to the Super Bowl.
Right, yeah,
and then they
because
went back to the Super Bowl the
then they
next
went
3
back,
years.
Yeah.
And the Patriots never went that many times in a row.
It don't say no flag like it was should have been there. That was good.
Yeah, but imagine,
Yeah.
even if you would have won even if you would have won 2 or 3 out of those Super Bowls, or even 1 out of those, I think if you would have won at least 1 of those 4 Super Bowls, Jim Kelly would be seen in a different light.
Like yeah.
But personally, you a bad boy to go 4 times.
And it just going 4 times.
Yeah. He just don't have the numbers that they were looking for. Even though he ain't bad, but he just don't have the numbers
Right.
that they talk about.
Don't touch him. Don't even tap his pad. Don't even.
Now you see him scrambling.
Yeah.
Allen ain't did nothing like that just yet.
Nope. Mm. Oh.
I'm still mad at Buffalo for even letting Kansas City get that boy.
Oh
Because
yeah.
it was Buffalo's pick that they traded to Kansas City
City.
for him
Yeah.
to get Xavier Worthy.
Yeah. 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 It sure was, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought that was so stupid when your team actually needed a receiver
Receiver, yeah,
and you
but you
decide
trade.
to get traded off so
Yeah.
they can get the receiver that you should have picked up.
Picked up. Yeah.
Oh, don't y'all start with this injury stuff.
Oh yeah. For the commercial. All right, hey, audience, I got a question. How many currently in the league right now? How many elite quarterbacks do you think there are in the league right now? And do you think the term elite has been overused? That's my question for the audience. What you think, Adrian? How many you think, and do you think the word elite has been overused?
I definitely think it's been overused.
Okay.
That's for sure. But as far as elite quarterbacks, I want to say five,
I think you're giving too many.
4 or 5 to me. At least 4.
I would say 3 or 4. I would say I'm talking about when
Now, if you're just talking about,
I'm I'm gonna give you my list real quick, and
mm-hmm.
then you give me yours. I'm talking about totality of career, what he's able to do. Matthew Stafford is part of that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Lamar Jackson is part of that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name in Cincinnati?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Because I'm gonna tell you this: when Joe Burrow is healthy, we've out since he came into the league. Only time we've seen him not be look good was when he hurt his wrist. Other than that, Joe Burrow plays great football all the time.
He does. He does.
And the numbers show it.
So that's
right.
3.
That's 3. And like I hate to say this because I'm like the favorable cause, but at the same time you got to be realistic. Patrick Mahomes is a great decision maker. Like his IQ and what he's able to do outside of the BS with the refs, you have to put him part of that conversation.
So that's 4.
That's where I'm at. That's what
That stops right there. So you don't put Josh Allen up there?
I want
Given
to.
his numbers.
Here's the thing, because we're talking about a QB. His numbers are really solid, and it's borderline. I'll tell you this. I can.
Okay.
I can. He could be part of that conversation.
So that would make 5.
That would make 5. He could be part of that conversation. Like given what he's done this year. Here's my issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
He's been elite this year. Last year we saw 17 turnovers. Lamar Jackson, we've seen him be that for years.
Right.
Joe Burrow, we've seen him be that for the years he's been in the league outside of the injuries. Matthew Stafford, we've seen him be that for years. So that
Get the fumble. Get the fumble.
Get it! Pick it up, fall on it.
Look. Flag.
It better not be on Buffalo. Let me see. When I think elite, I know that QB is going to be clutch, but doesn't need to be because he's already running his offense during the entire game. Okay. Yeah, I'm with that.
Like, this is where I'm at. Because I like that list. That list actually, I like that list.
Hold on, man. I gotta see that again because that looked like
It looked like he timed that
it looked
pretty
like
good.
he just timed it. Now I need to see that replay again. What y'all think? What y'all think? I need to see that replay again because it looked like he timed that to me. That ball was moving when he went. I need to see that again. They ain't gonna play it again though. They ain't gonna play the. They ain't gonna play that replay again.
Yeah, man. This is what I say about Josh Allen. I put him up in the elite category because I understand the turnovers. You know, he's trying to make too many plays, and that's my biggest criticism against Josh Allen has been, you know, he does turn the ball over or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I seen how he worked teams. He's always been, even though he throws the ball, he used to throw a lot of turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Even with doing that, he's been so good to affect the game and effectively win ball games, even with throwing turnover, even with turning the ball over. So the only reason why I put it in that, look at somebody like you would consider back in the day elite, Brett Favre. He was a gunslinger, threw a whole bunch of interceptions.
Yeah.
You would put him in the elite category of quarterbacks, wouldn't you? Just by the way that he was able to affect the game, even when he threw turnovers, he would affect the game in a different light to win ball games.
That's fair. That's a fair argument.
You can consider somebody still elite, even though they do turn the ball over or whatever. But if he still can effectively still come back and win a ball game, even with turning the ball over, now they finally got one.
Finally.
Good deal. Good deal.
Finally.
But when you can do that, even though that's my biggest criticism against, has always been my criticism against him. So that kind of kept him.
Right.
He's not, to me, like when you're talking about, like, I would put him a top 5 quarterback and I still put him in that elite upper echelon because of the way that he can effective game.
Yeah.
I seen him make good decisions. I seen him make bad decisions, but I've seen that with every quarterback. I seen that with Lamar Jackson in the beginning of his years.
Right.
So, you know, it's just like Lamar Jackson the last couple of years has been what we've been expecting, but he has won MVPs.
Right.
But being able to effectively impact the game, throwing and running, because I've watched him even years where he was making those turnovers, but I watched him play like my 49ers who had a good team, and I watched him pick us apart straight down the whole field, and I'm just like, we can't do nothing with this boy. Because it's either A, he was killing us throwing the ball, and then when we stopping that, we can't stop him from running.
Yeah.
So when you deal with a dual threat that isn't scared of taking chances, I kind of put him in that category of elite because of the simple fact, because you could sit there and be like, yeah, Joe Burrow's good, but when you look at the receivers he's had with a Jamar Chase,
and
Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is going to make you look extremely good. You feel me? But Joe Burrow is a good quarterback. You still don't take it away from him.
Yeah.
But I understand. I wish he would turn the ball less over, which he has done this year.
Yeah.
But I still wouldn't keep him out of the elite category because I've seen him be good for years. Even with turning the ball over, he's been good for his team.
Based on that argument, though, does that mean that you can make the argument for Dak Prescott?
Nope.
Why not?
Don't work that way.
Why not?
Don't work that way.
That's the same thing.
Now that Prescott looks like a stat pattern to me. I don't know why. It just feels like that. It don't feel like, because you ever watch the Cowboys when they were winning games a lot of times.
Yeah.
And you could blame this on people like Skip Bayless. They used to always bring out these stats.
Yeah.
My quarterback threw for X amount of yards in this one quarter.
Yeah.
All they do is throw the football.
Yeah. You throwing it every play.
When you're playing from behind and you just throwing the football.
Yeah. Nah, yeah.
So you get a different perspective of it. Yes, they won ball games and they looked really good when their defense was getting to the quarterback. Their defense getting to the quarterback. Their
yeah.
defense is doing all these things to keep them in the ball game.
Yeah.
And when they had a rushing game, they were looking
With
better.
Pollard, yeah.
Now I put him in the class of very, very good because he ain't been successful. He doesn't have a playoff win. At least I could say Josh Allen won playoff games.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Dak Prescott can't win playoff games. He won one in how many years? One, maybe two over the 8-9 year span he got in his whole entire career.
Yeah.
So it's just like he kind of stifles himself. Now, do I say he got very good numbers? Yes, very good numbers across the board. But that don't. Jared Goff got good numbers.
Yeah.
But you don't put him in an elite talent of status, right?
No.
I mean, you just can't. To me, you just can't. I just give it to. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, Sean asked, "Does drop passes affect your decision on an elite QB?" No, because we look at what look at prior to this year. Look at what Lamar Jackson had to deal with. Like he dealt with mediocre wide receivers and a lot of drop passes, so it doesn't affect my
because
decision.
to me, drop pass it wouldn't affect my decision because of the fact that drop passes are more of the receiver than it is the QB.
Yeah.
Now, if a QB was throwing a bad ball,
Yeah. Well,
different story. Are you putting a receiver in harm's way with your passes all the time or something like that? Then I would have to look at it.
That's why it's
differently,
important. That's why it's important to like. Sometimes when I'm having the conversation with people about the games, I'll ask like, "Did you see that game?" Because you can't tell me A, B, and C about such and such when all you did was look at the stats, but you didn't see the game.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, I saw the game. You didn't see the 3 drop passes? That's why
context matters.
Yeah, and so Jaguars have more playoff wins in the last decade than the Cowboys.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Literally.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
And who's been to the playoff more?
Yeah.
That's the crazy.
That's the crazy. Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Yeah.
But that's why I keep Dak out of that. Like I say, he's a good quarterback. You know what I'm saying? If it's another team, he might be great there too. But the thing about it, when you looked at a lot of their games, you could sit there and be like, the Cowboys could lose the game, but Dak has great numbers.
Yeah.
But when they lost, when you getting your butt whooped or whatever, you throwing the ball all day long. That's you gonna pass stats. So it looks really good on the what you call it.
It looks good. Yeah.
Like I don't even put right now, and Purdy. I like Purdy, but I'm not even ready to put him in the class of elite. Good, he's good. I think that he puts his receivers in a lot of compromising positions because he likes to throw high.
Yeah.
Which to me that is
he's not elite.
That he's not there. He's not there. He's good, but he's not elite. And this is from me being a 49er fan. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I see what he does. I do like the fact that he isn't scared to try to put the ball through a tight hole or whatever. Right. Sometimes you got to take those chances. But a lot of times I look at him and I'm like, that's a bad ball. Regardless if the receiver caught it, that's a bad ball.
Yeah, you set your guy up.
Yeah.
Will Dak be in the Hall of Fame? No.
Romo ain't in the Hall of Fame, so Dak can't go.
Yeah.
Because he got same comparable numbers to Romo. And Romo ain't won nothing. He ain't in the Hall of Fame. No. I don't think he will.
Yeah.
He would have to win.
He would have to win
Super
at
Bowl.
least one Super Bowl. But right now, even if let's say this season, the Cowboys go to the playoffs and win a couple games, I still don't believe he's a Hall of Famer.
He has the numbers for it. He definitely has the numbers
if
for
he
it.
was
But
winning in the playoffs,
he needs to win in the playoffs. He has
it'd be
to win.
different, but he doesn't.
Go, boy.
Come on, Cook. Let's go, James Cook.
But yeah, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Like I would have said, if Stafford didn't win the Super Bowl, he wouldn't have it. Matthew Stafford has not been successful in the playoffs until he won that Super Bowl. He has numbers. Now you can't have
It's
one
like-
argument without having the other one because when he was in Detroit, yeah, he had the numbers, but they never was winning games.
But let's say
we
he
can't
went to
do
the
it.
Super Bowl but didn't win. Matthew Stafford's a Hall of Famer. for
Yeah,
sure.
he is now. Definitely.
What the?
He
I mean, I
batted
guess
away.
it wasn't. I guess he was doing what Josh Allen does.
Well, he ain't been doing that all year long though. He ain't been doing that. That's old Josh Allen doing stupid.
That's last year, Josh Allen. That's
He
last
ain't
year,
been
Josh
doing that.
Allen.
That's probably why he did it then.
Yeah, that probably He probably looked and saw that. Yeah, he probably saw it and then just threw it.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Take a risk.
Yeah. You know. So that was smart, high IQ play.
But yeah, that I honestly believe if Stafford didn't go and win a Super Bowl, you'd have been talking about he has the numbers to be a Hall of Famer, but he never had the success to be a Hall of Famer, to me.
Even going to the Super Bowl?
If he would have went to the Super Bowl, but that's 1 year out of how many years he played.
Yeah, but
what was his success in the playoffs in general?
Even if we take the last 4 years, if you take the last 4 years, he's what, 5-2?
Yeah, we're talking about currently. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, in the last 4 years, he's 5-2. So
if he goes to the Super Bowl, I would probably give him a better chance of making the Hall of Fame. If he goes to the Super Bowl and they would have lost, I'd give him a better chance of going in the Hall of Fame than I would have if he didn't go to the Super Bowl at all. Because I can't take away all those years that he played in Detroit. They weren't winning, and then he goes to the Rams, and then he decides that now he's winning a couple of games in the Super Bowl. Oh, I mean, he wins a couple of games. Let's see if y'all didn't go to the Super Bowl. He won a couple of games.
The argument that I could make for that is Detroit also didn't try to put nothing else around him. They also didn't try to build.
Yeah, but my problem is you can't have that same conversation there, not being successful in Detroit, and then we keep Dak out of it because he's not been successful in
You comparing the teams that the Cowboys have had?
Well, that's not I'm comparing success. I'm comparing the success of teams.
Okay,
but at the same
rosters,
time,
though. Let's look at Dallas's roster over the last 4 years.
However you want to try to slice it or whatever you want to do. I'm saying that literally, if this one person can make it to the playoffs and can't win, but this person could not ever make it to the playoffs, regardless of what team you put around them, their numbers are comparable. How do you keep one in and then you keep the other one out? If they had comparable numbers.
I feel what you're saying.
That's how I feel about that. If he was not ever to go to the Rams and make a successful years in the Rams in St. Louis, I could not put him in my Hall of Fame if I keep Dak out.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I get you. But I
don't care if Dak is wearing a star on his helmet. It's just a simple fact.
That's why I said even if he went to the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? But I feel you. Let me see, Sean. Sean, do y'all believe a QB can only be in the Hall of Fame if they win a Super Bowl? No, because I believe Jim Kelly is a
he's a Hall of
Famer. You know what I mean? Like I believe there's
Dan Marino ain't go.
Dan Marino's a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? So yeah, you definitely.
But I feel like you have to have some type of playoff success. To be honest, that's how I feel.
I believe a QB can, even if I mean, like there's quarterbacks that are in my eyes Hall of Famers that didn't win a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? So. Oh, great pass. Great pass.
Yeah, I just feel like if you gotta at least be able to be competitive somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I understand the whole, because you could be a great quarterback and your team's just sucked.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There is that. But if you are that, to me, I'm kind of like, if you are that good of a QB and you are getting stellar numbers, how bad does your team really have to be for you not even to have a playoff victory or to be in the playoffs?
Well,
You know what I'm saying?
We saw that with Detroit though when Matthew Stafford was there. After who did they get for Matthew Stafford after Megatron, Calvin Johnson?
Oh, they've had bad
retired?
teams for years.
Yeah, they've had bad teams.
But he had Megatron for a while.
But after he retired,
but after he retired, but we talk about 8 years of Megatron at least.
yeah.
So it's just like you had one of a great receiver who some people argue is one of the greatest receivers in a short span.
Yeah, but after that they didn't give, what was it? He for what?
Oh, he played with trash teams.
He played
with
a lot of trash
teams.
And still numbers were still pretty solid.
Yeah.
Would you consider
But for me, a great player is going to be a Hall of Fame type of caliber player. They're going to do enough to be able to make a team succeed somewhere, some way, or make you competitive.
Yeah.
1 in 15.
Yeah.
That's a bad. Or 0 and 16. Didn't they go 0 and 16 too?
Yeah.
And that wasn't on Goff's record. I don't believe that was Goff, was it?
No, that was still
that
Matthew
was Stafford.
Yeah.
He might have been injured. I don't know if he was injured though.
I think he was hurt that year.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was, because what's his name? Dan Orlovsky.
Oh yeah, running out the back.
Dan Orlovsky was the quarterback. Yep, that was Dan. Dan Orlovsky was the quarterback. Yeah, it was that year.
Yeah, he was. But they had some really bad years.
Yeah.
Really bad years. But it does go to show that a decent receiver, at least a good receiving core, can change the perspective of a team.
Yeah.
Like, because they used to have like Golden Tate.
Yeah.
He was solid.
He was all right. Yeah, he was solid. So Russell Wilson's a Hall of Famer.
I'll put him in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
I mean, he's done been to 2.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, whether I felt like his teams was being a little carried, hey, it is what it is, but...
Sean said, leave that commentator alone. Dan Orlovsky, yeah.
I like Dan Orlovsky,
Yeah,
but
like
I mean,
you
know what I'm saying? But that's his most memorable moment in the NFL.
He went out the
back of the end zone.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, when he went out the back of that end zone, that was funny. Yeah. I think, I don't know, I was listening to something, one of them Sirius XM radio stations or whatever, and a guy called in and was like, quarterbacks aren't as good as they used to be, so all the quarterbacks look like, to the effect that all the quarterbacks look elite because they're all the same, because they're not as good as they used to be. First of all, I totally disagree.
Because they're not all the same.
Yeah.
That's for one.
I totally disagree with what he said, but the reason why I don't think it's fair to compare the quarterbacks of then to the quarterbacks today is because the league has changed. It was heavy. It leaned heavy on the run game, right?
Hold on.
All right, you got a call?
Yeah.
Take your call.
What's up, broski?
James Cook. So who y'all want to win? Who y'all got? I think you, Sean, you want it to be Buffalo too, don't you? And Eric, I know you want it to be Buffalo. I know you can't stand Kansas City. That's a division rival for you.
What's that?
Buddy Eric's viewing, but he's a Chargers fan from San Diego. So I was saying, I know he wants Kansas City to lose.
Yeah. Anything less would be uncivilized.
Yeah. All right, let's go, Buffalo. That defense up.
Yeah, they definitely got to, because this is the part where I don't like a lot of teams. Y'all score, then you got to let Kansas City go right down and score right back.
Yeah, that matters too. The defenses were allowed to be more physical. You really had to be a tougher quarterback too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
most
you had to
definitely.
be a tougher quarterback because they could hit you in the mouth. You know what I mean? Oh, good. Yeah.
Not only that, but they played in a lot of eras where running was more prominent than it is
Yeah.
stressed about nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays, there's a lot of teams that got quarterbacks that can scramble.
Yeah.
Oh, he's out.
Yep. Yeah. Concussion.
Next man up. Good stop. Good stop.
Nice. Okay, so everybody here wants Buffalo. Yep, I'm going for Buffalo. Yep, I figured.
Yeah, but that don't make sense what old boy was saying. I mean,
Yeah,
the quarterbacks are not the same.
it's a very, very different era, man. Very different era. Cause even you got to look at this too. Like, if you look at how there was no defenseless wide receiver, like you came through
Yeah.
there, you got ate up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
For
you
real.
know, Ronnie
Facts.
Lott was trying to kill you.
Big facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
yo,
You couldn't go over that middle. You get
right. So I mean, it was just a different time for everybody. So even quarterbacks had to be conscious of that. Like,
Yep.
that's my star receiver. You know, I don't want to get him.
Shoot, they had to be conscious of just being a quarterback. Because
Yeah.
back in those days, it was nothing to blast the QB.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you
on
can't
him.
tee
Yeah,
off
you
and
can't-
blast them
yeah.
joints anymore. Shoot.
Yeah.
Light a quarterback up.
How you feel about what happens to Mike Tomlin? Will another team pick him up, and who? Well, he's still with the Steelers. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they haven't. They're
Steelers
not,
ain't letting them go.
yeah, Steelers. You got to think, man. They've only had 4 coaches since the '70s. I think. Matter of fact, yeah, I think it's been 4 since the '70s.
Yeah.
Like that. So you got to think as long as, for one, Mike Tomlin has been able to take some really trash teams since Ben Roethlisberger retired. He really ain't had, like, this was probably the first year where he had a decent quarterback, but the rosters that he's been able to carry, take to the playoffs, they haven't been the best rosters, and not very. I don't believe there's many coaches that could take what the Steelers have been the last 3 years to the playoffs. I think Mike
That's a
Tomlin is
fact.
one of the few, and so Pittsburgh sees that. Like, the thing that fans don't understand is you don't just go pick another great coach like that, and they're like, "Well, fire Tomlin and get a new coach." Who? Because you got to look at what their roster is. So who else can do that? Like, so
Yeah.
obviously Mike Tomlin's a really good coach. You know what I mean? Like, he's been making some teams 10 wins is hard to do in the NFL. And when you've been able to do not only that, put in perspective of the division that he's doing that in. You're doing that in a division with Cincinnati and Baltimore. Cincinnati's coming off of a Super Bowl appearance in one of those years. So when you take all of that into account, I think Pittsburgh just keeps him. In my opinion.
But Pittsburgh ain't gonna fire him anyway, because they're just that loyal to
Yeah,
they're just that loyal to their coaches.
Yeah.
Like all the coaches that been there, I don't know any coach that actually got fired from Pittsburgh.
yeah, they all retired.
They retired.
Cowher retired. And
The one before him, he
Yeah.
retired.
So
Tomlin's probably going to retire
yeah,
the head coach.
he's gonna retire their head coach, I believe. And I think that was the understanding from the jump. This is
Yeah.
where I want to be. This is where I'm gonna be. You know, I understand how this organization works with coaches, so that's what it is.
Which I like that though. I
Yeah,
mean,
me too.
it's
Me
like
too.
if you got a coach that's won and has been winning, that's one thing I don't really like about what they do with certain coaches. Like you get fired for winning.
Yeah, like
Just because you didn't win in the
look at
playoffs, you're gonna fire you. But if you
look at
have a track record of constantly winning and success,
right
regardless, and you've been winning with trash,
trash. Yeah, and look how I see. I didn't like how Tampa did Tony Dungy.
yeah,
You know what I
they
mean?
did him dirty too.
You know,
But yeah, that's just how I feel about it. Just keep him there.
will Tomlin get another ring? You know, they would have to really. You would have to end up with a really solid quarterback. Um, I don't. The reason I don't know, I'm realistically, I'm going to say no, and it's just based on the young talent that's in that division. Um, can they? Yeah, I mean it's possible, but I would say no because again, the division you're in, you got Cincinnati. Joe Burrow's really young. Jamar Chase is really young. That like since he's going to give Jamar Chase a long term contract. Then you got Baltimore with their young. They're young. You know, Zay Flowers. Um, is in Baltimore. He's a young wide receiver. Lamar Jackson. I mean, you know, you got a young team that's
It's
in Baltimore as well. So
it's gonna depend on what they can put around.
yeah, you just
If they can get a good,
whatever.
if they can continue to get good quarterback play,
Yeah,
and then on top of that, they need a better receiving core because that Pickens is all they really have.
yeah. Pickens is all they have, and he's so inconsistent in
Yeah.
term.
One day he
He's
wants
a
to play, one
talent
day he
that
don't.
his attitude and his mindset takes him out of games.
Yeah.
And so I like an organization that keeps good coaches. Yeah, yeah, same.
Yeah, but that's the only way they're gonna get back to a Super Bowl is they gotta get their offense back in
Yeah, they
gear
got it. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
because their defense has always been their defense stayed pretty decent.
Decent, yeah.
They still got pretty good defense, but that offense is just ugh.
Oh, that was a nice little. I mean, it wasn't no Reggie Bush at USC, but let's see. I ain't gonna lie. Uh, is it me or does Romo be calling all the Buffalo games? Seem like Romo got he be called get the call on every Buffalo game. Like,
Yeah.
okay, and we know he's a. I was happy when Dungy got a ring after Tampa let him go. Chucky got an easy ring. Yeah, he did.
Sure enough did.
He did. he
Sure
sure
enough
did.
did.
Man, that
If
ring.
he didn't know his team, he
Yeah,
knew his team already.
yeah.
That
Man,
was
he
a
got
walk
an
in
easy
the park.
ring. That thing fell in his
Look,
Gruden's lap.
I told you they was gonna do it.
Yeah.
Always happens. Every time somebody scores against Kansas City, they go downfield and score again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Taylor Rapp is out, huh?
Mm.
The Rams drafted Taylor Rapp. I thought he was pretty decent, but he wasn't fast enough for what we was doing while we got rid of him. He couldn't cover. Couldn't cover.
I can't stand Kansas City.
Man, I can't either. Hey Sean, what's up? Oh, Red 15 leans his head down to the left and then signal for the rest. I'm gonna have to look out for that.
What's that?
Red 15 leans his head down to the left is the signal for the refs. I don't know. I have to look out for it. Hey, Sean, did you see y'all's new coach, man? Y'all new head coach down there in Jacksonville. Got a old buddy, offensive coordinator from Tampa. Look, Dallas ain't serious about winning. Jacksonville ain't serious about winning. We're gonna see what Jacksonville can do with that.
I mean, they need something new over down there in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Dallas is gonna always keep it the same.
Dallas went in house because you
always
you
keep
can
it
control
in-house.
that. Like Jerry Jones can control that. He can control. You know what I mean? You know, I ain't done none of my prize picks. I usually start doing it after. I'll do it after the All Star game for NBA. Like mostly, I do my prize picks. I usually do that for NBA games.
Yeah, most of that stuff I do NBA. I don't really, even when I was doing DraftKings, I don't do mostly. It's always NBA. Sometimes I might do NFL, but
Oh, Sean, I did see that, but I don't know what he has done or what he has done to be a head coach. Honestly, bro, like he's been the OC at Tampa the last couple years. I will say I don't think he's like actually been the guy. I think he's just had the title. They did offer Tampa Bay did offer him an extension, and actually I want to say that was Thursday morning. He said that he was gonna stay in Tampa, and then that night he was like told them I'm going to uh, Jacksonville. So I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about him prior to that. So
one thing's for sure, he ain't moving his family anywhere.
yeah, he ain't got to move too far. He got to go right to the other side of the state. Ain't.
You go from, yeah, literally, like down here to over here.
Yeah, he ain't got to go too far. So we'll see what they can do. Maybe he can light a fire under who was supposed to be the next Peyton Manning. Oh, Trevor Lawrence.
I ask you a question. Andrew Luck,
Great
Hall of
quarterback.
Famer.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
No, he didn't spend enough. He didn't do it long enough.
That's how I feel.
He didn't stay in the league long enough.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. No, absolutely not. But I think
He was a good quarterback, though.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I do think that had he stayed in the league, though, he would have been.
Oh, I agree.
He would have been that guy, and we would have been calling him a Hall of Famer.
I agree.
Yeah. I just. I. But
Didn't even see the flag get thrown.
Yeah, y'all knew that when the ball was thrown. I guess.
All right, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, Luck was solid. Yeah, he definitely would have been that guy.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, you wide open.
Yep. Buffalo's acting weird.
Yeah.
He's open. Why don't you throw him?
Yeah, why don't you why wouldn't you throw it in front of him where he can run?
You shouldn't have put it that low. Should have
Yeah.
kept it higher.
Higher where he can run after catching it. Yeah, I don't know. That was, you know. Yeah. Yeah, they must have thrown that one out, throw that flag after the play because I didn't
They
see it
had
come
to.
out. Yeah, I didn't see it come out.
That's one of those. Oh, by the way, this happened.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, I don't know if you've seen it transitioning to the NBA. You heard what Scottie Pippen said in that interview that he last had?
I didn't. So was it the one where if he played with Dominique Wilkins?
Nah, not that one.
Okay.
I don't know about that one.
Okay. It was. I saw something where it was like if Scotty played with Dominique Wilkins, they would have won. They would have won championships.
Nah, I ain't seen that one.
Okay, I'm gonna have to.
This
find
was the
it.
one where he had said that. Of course, you know Scottie Pippen has always kind of did this flip flop on the GOAT debate, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He first it was Michael Jordan.
Jordan,
Then
yeah.
he said LeBron.
Yeah.
This last recent interview, he said that neither one of them are goats to him.
So who is it?
Magic Johnson's the goat to him.
I think Scotty just be saying. I think he just be saying stuff, man.
Not only that,
Scotty Pippen just be saying stuff.
Scotty is a trip, bro.
Yeah, he is.
Like, what is your stance and like what are you doing? We still
Yeah.
trying to sell books? Is that what we try to do?
I guess.
You know what I'm saying?
I guess. He just be saying stuff. I don't think he.
Then he feels like, you know, he should have been. He's more, I guess, qualified to be one of the GOATs or something like that because of the way that he played the game and all this other stuff. So he feels like he kind of need to be. It was something to that effect where it
Yeah.
kind of seemed like he was trying to throw himself up in that little the GOAT
Man,
debate. And I'm like, Scotty, bro.
I stopped
bro,
listening to Scotty about 8 years ago.
my dude.
Yeah.
And this is what hurts my heart. I'm a Bulls fan.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why my favorite position is the small forward when it comes to basketball is because of the likes of Scottie Pippen.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, bro,
Yeah.
really? Is this what we do?
Yeah.
Is this where we at in
Yeah.
life? Like, come on, bruh.
Yeah.
All right.
I feel you, man, because I feel you because let's see, the Bulls still made the playoffs without MJ. I'm just saying.
But they didn't win without
They
MJ.
didn't win. Yeah.
Yeah, they made the playoffs without Scotty too. So what's the whole point?
Yeah. I don't know what to say about Scotty, man. I stopped listening to him about 8 years ago.
He just don't know where
be
he
saying
wants.
stuff. He don't know. He just trying to sell some books and you know what I mean. But his son seemed. Oh. Yeah, because when it's a tie ball, the offense, they always give it to the offense.
If he picked it, it would have came back anyway. So it don't
Yeah.
even matter.
Golly, Hamlin would get at some point like get your hands off of him. Sheesh.
It was
It
intercepted.
was intercepted. Yeah. But whenever it's a tie like that, they give it to the offense. See, that's gonna get his ass. Get his. There you go. Let me ask you this: when you think of point guards,
Hmm.
is Magic in the top five?
Is that a question?
He's in the top five, correct?
He's number one.
Okay, right. I don't understand why that's so hard for people to understand that of this generation. I don't understand why they can't
I don't understand it either.
like they. I be telling them YouTube's available. What they say?
I don't know.
Yeah, YouTube is available. I saw that on Twitter.
Bro, that is
I saw that discussion on Twitter, and I was like, "Hold on, when did that become in
I
question?"
mean, yeah, really. I mean, I guess the only thing they've been recently talking about, like, who's the greatest point guard, and they throw Steph Curry up in that list.
It
But
does not matter. That does not take the fact that
but for the
Magic is
back,
still.
Magic is the greatest point guard that's
Yeah,
played
that
the
doesn't
game.
change that. That doesn't change.
I never even knew it was a thing
it was
that.
on Twitter. It was a thing.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna find that conversation for you and tag you in it. LeBron left his team and they didn't make the playoffs to make the MVP or GOAT. You're trying to make the argument for LeBron being the greatest because when LeBron left his teams, then they were bad after that.
That's a terrible argument to
Yeah.
me. That's a bad take. I gotta say that's a bad take. You can't no. That's not good.
Yeah. Roughing the passer call. Watch. For Eric. Yeah.
I can't do it. No.
Yeah, John Stockton, he's in the top two. He's
Yeah, he's
one of
top
the-
five.
Yeah, he's top five.
Matter of fact, for me personally, he's
number two.
number 2 on my list.
I got him number two. Yeah,
He's number
he's
two on my
point guard
list.
on my list.
Then it starts getting to the, do I put J Kidd? Do I put Chris Paul?
Yeah.
Then it starts getting that 3 to 5.
Isaiah Thomas.
Isaiah Thomas is up there.
So here's how this is mine currently right now. I nah. Mailman was my dude. Yeah, Mailman was solid. Here's my top five. Magic number one, Stockton number two, then I got Jason Kidd. Then I got Isaiah Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, I have Chris Paul,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not mad at the argument of Curry because it's almost like they're interchangeable, but they're so different.
Oh, they challenged the catch. That's technically a pick.
Ah,
The ball hits the ground.
Brown.
That could have been considered incomplete if you gonna
Yeah.
give it to, because there's no way in the world
I think
Worthy would have actually caught that if
Yeah.
old boy would have. Yeah.
I think it was one of those things where we already called it a catch.
Yeah.
So it's not enough. It's inconclusive, so we can't overturn it. Not enough. Yeah. So Curry and Chris Paul are kind of interchangeable, but they're both. And the reason I say Curry ain't it because he's actually a shooting guard.
That's how I feel about
Yeah,
it.
Curry's actually a shooting guard, so you can't really make that conversation in terms of him being a point guard, because
It's very hard for me to make
it's-
that too.
yeah, you could say shooting guard,
Being
but not
because he don't do point guard things.
things
Like
exactly.
he can, but not saying he can't, but he's not. That's
He's
not,
not.
what he's
Yeah,
usually
that's
there
not. Yeah,
for.
he's not a facilitator like that.
Yeah. So if you're not going by the traditional point guard argument or something like that,
Yeah.
I mean, because you could almost say like that's Isaiah Thomas too. Isaiah Thomas did, but he was a scoring. He was kind of your
Yeah, but
back in those days, he was more of a modern day, like kind of like your scoring point guard for
Yeah.
those days. But he facilitated the ball. He had the ball
exactly.
constantly.
Yeah.
Curry don't always have the ball like
he
that.
plays
A lot of off
He
ball.
plays. Yeah.
Yeah. But that list right there, I would say that's kind of about how I got it.
Yeah.
I got Magic 1, I got Stockton 2, I got Kid 3. I would say Isaiah Thomas his 4th, and I would put Chris Paul 5.
Yeah, that's exact. Yeah, that's mine. Now
That-
a lot of people would say. So I know some people that got Gary Payton in their top 5. Only reason I don't is because he was more of a defender. Like
Which ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, he was more. Yeah, which
He's definitely a top 10 point guard.
Yeah,
I mean, he could
yeah, for
he can
sure.
make the top 10.
Yeah, for
Especially when you
sure.
talk about defensive point guards. Oh,
Yeah.
he's definitely up there if that comes.
Yeah, for sure.
But he definitely ran the offense very well. He did that too.
Yep. The ball hit the ground and it was considered a catch.
That's what
Be-
tripped me out.
Yeah, because
It was pinned, and
because-
plus the defender had the
Had the
ball
ball.
pinned against his body.
yeah, exactly. Well, they're gonna say because they already ruled it a catch and it's not enough to overturn it. But I agree with you, Sean. I personally think it should have been overturned, but you also know. If you know, you know. Which I think the whole country knows.
We all know.
Yeah, everybody knows. So
Who's that? Doja Cat? That is Doja Cat, huh?
I reckon yes. I think so.
Yeah, that's her. So, let me ask you this. We see that Philadelphia is in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that Kansas City and Philly have played in
Mm-hmm.
the Super Bowl. I think that Philly's defense is better than it was in that first matchup.
I agree.
And I think not only that, there's not a team in this league that can stop Saquon Barkley. Like
I
on
agree
the
with that, too.
with
I would agree with that.
with how he's like, dude,
He's in another level right
he's
now.
at another level.
He's
right
in his
now.
bag. He's
Yeah,
definitely in his bag.
And I
right
think
now.
right now, with the confidence that he has,
Yeah, I don't. And then he's gonna go in that Super Bowl real hungry to win. one.
real hungry.
Yeah, he's on another level.
Like he's
right now.
got a lot to.
I knew he was about to run that in.
Yeah, me too. Damn, I can't stand that
like almost 2 plays behind y'all on this AFC game. Is MJ the greatest two-way player?
The greatest two-way player.
When you look at the defense, how many? Yeah, yeah.
It's a great thing to argue.
Yes, it is. That is a really good question.
Now, are we just talking about if we just talking about from guards and down under?
Yeah, elaborate, Sean.
Now, if I'm talking about overall completely, Hakeem Olajuwon got a good conversation in that.
Yeah, Hakeem. Yeah, well, yeah.
Hakeem Olajuwon got a good.
Ooh, you
'Cause
bringing that up?
You talking about a
Are we talking about guards or are we talking about overall? Because if we're talking about overall, I gotta
Ooh.
put
Hakeem, and Hakeem is one of my top 5 players of all
Now,
time.
the greatest thing, because you got to look at it, MJ's offensive game is that beats Hakeem offensively.
Yeah.
Even though Hakeem was a beast offensively, but we know he ain't the scorer MJ was.
Yeah, but
But defensively,
even guards was going to Hakeem for footwork.
yeah, that's true.
Right.
You know, but defensively though, I
yeah.
love MJ.
Yeah.
But for you to be a center to be top 10 in blocks and steals,
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
defensively, Hakeem was the truth
For
defensively.
their position. Oh yeah, for the
For
position.
their position, yeah.
MJ, yeah,
That's
for
MJ
sure.
all day.
MJ, for sure.
For shooting guards, yeah, he's the
Yeah.
best two-way shooting guard.
Yeah,
you
for
can
their
get.
position, yeah, absolutely.
I don't really. Who else would be in that argument that you would put in that argument? That if you could even put one close in that argument for defensive two ways.
guards?
Shooting guards.
Kobe.
It's a real short list, isn't it?
yeah. But right?
Yeah, that's about.
That's
I'm trying to think of other shooting guards that actually had great defense. I know D Wade could get with it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
But D Wade was nowhere near the defender.
No, he wasn't. I'm not saying he was. I said, but he could get with because he was one of the better shot blocking shooting guards in the league.
Yeah.
But at their position, yeah, there's not one really that close to MJ
Yeah, that's MJ.
that I could think of off the top of my head.
That's
Because
MJ.
Joe Dumars was nice defensively,
But not.
but
so
he
much
wasn't the
offensively.
offensive scorer. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh.
LeBron was a shooting guard at one point in time.
Yeah, but he ain't.
LeBron's a forward. He's a small forward.
He's always been a forward.
Yeah, he's a forward. He came out of high school as a forward. His natural position is
Yeah,
a
see,
small
he's
forward.
a 3.
Yeah, he's always been a 3. That's his natural position.
And then the problem with it, he wouldn't even be in that conversation for two-way.
Yeah, not
best
for
defense.
2-way.
No.
I know he's ran back.
And when
and
he
made
was
some
back in
blocks.
his younger days, he could, because of his speed, his
Because of
size.
speed and size,
Yeah,
he could get back
he would have
on the
definitely.
block.
Problem with LeBron,
But he
a lot of times now that I learned, that I started seeing as time grows, that same defensive effort is not there no more. Like now, I understand he's older, but
Yeah.
it's not just been these last few years. It's been waning for some seasons. Like
Yeah.
to me, watching them, it's just been like years.
Yeah.
Like when you can actually, and this is not always a fair thing, but you can literally pull up highlights of YouTube of him slacking defensively.
Yeah. Like
Slacking,
just resting,
like literally
yeah.
resting on defense
Yeah.
because he does so much offensively.
Right. Yeah.
I can guarantee you there's not one YouTube video that you could see Jordan lacking on defensive effort
Yeah.
and offensive effort.
Oh, yeah. Always.
He's always locked in. You know what I'm saying? Kobe had his moments where he didn't want to do defense.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
he
saying?
did.
Too. He you know,
Yeah.
but I've never seen a player locked in both sides like that consistently.
So Sean, who's your goat? Who's your goat? Is LeBron your goat? He the greatest of all time to you? Who's in your top 5, Sean?
Oh wow.
There's a flag
John
thrown?
Coleman caught that. I
What's
like
the
Keegan
flag though?
Coleman. Huh?
What's the flag though?
Yeah, we finna see.
Okay.
Huh?
They called a pass interference on him.
Yeah. Surprise. Oh yeah. Come on, Buffalo. Get a score before y'all go in the half.
They need one. You gotta at least put 3,
Yeah.
but you want a touchdown.
Get you a score for y'all going to half. Okay, finally hear Amari Cooper's name.
It's his 3rd catch.
Okay. He's been quiet this season.
Yeah, it's been about what Amari Cooper does. He's always one of them players where he's quiet. Then you look at his stats and be like, dang, he did this?
Yeah.
It's a good, strong run. Been seeing a lot more Johnson. Where's Cook at?
Yeah, James Cook.
MJ, Stockton, Mailman, Clyde, Shaq.
That's an interesting top 5.
I'm not mad at it though.
I've
I don't
never
know about
heard Stockton
Clyde.
top 5.
I think, I mean, if you're like a fan of, if in that time you were a fan of Utah,
But like top
nobody's
5
ever gonna
of
beat
all time.
nobody's ever gonna beat Stockton's assist numbers
Oh no, this is-
ever.
He's number 1 in. Isn't he number 1 in steals too? Or is that
Yeah.
Jordan?
No,
It's Stockton. Yeah.
So that's fair.
That's that's the first time I've ever heard Stockton being on somebody's top 5
Yeah,
outside of point guard position.
yeah.
Karl Malone was nice. He was nice. Definitely, that mid range was killer, boy.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense though, because Sean said I'm a casual NBA fan, so that's fair. And that's a good, you know what I mean? That's a decent.
That's an
list.
honest take. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clyde Drexler he was nice.
Clyde
though.
Drexler
Clyde
was
nice.
Yeah, Clyde
Clyde
was
was
nice.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, Clyde was nice. Hey, also, let me see. I was a Utah fan first. Okay, yeah, so that matters. Yeah, I was a Utah fan first. Yeah, actually, I had a guy I went to school with in elementary school, and his name was Marcus, and he was a huge Utah fan because of the same, you know, because Stockton and because Karl Malone. He was a huge Utah Jazz fan. Remember the starter coats and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
That Stockton pick and roll was crazy, boy.
yeah, yeah.
Good
Oh!
catch, boy. Good catch. What flag now?
What they about to call? They about
Bro,
to call.
I'm seeing every single time something big is happening, it's a flag
It's a
being
flag,
thrown out
yeah.
here.
Okay.
Boy, I tell you, when you deal with these dang Kansas City, you be like, what's about to be called now?
Yeah, you always think it's on the other team. I like players in the NBA, not like being faithful to football teams. Okay, yeah. No, I feel that. Like you become a fan of players, not just one team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is becoming a lot of, it makes
Yeah.
sense with a lot of people.
yeah.
That's like I was going back to that one episode where I was talking about, like, the NFL seems like there's more people that are diehard fans of a team,
Right.
while the NBA is more diehard fans of players,
Yeah.
and you know what I'm saying, and it's a different change of fandom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, back in the '90s, it used to be more of a team. I
Thing,
like
yeah,
this
you like the
team, and
team,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying.
Well,
Nowadays,
because
it's now it's
players
just
stayed
player.
with,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and that rather brings up. I didn't even think about it back that much.
yeah.
That brings up another point is that players don't really. A lot of players aren't staying with the team like how they
Teams
used to.
yeah,
So now it's just like I done fell in love with this team because I
yeah.
like this player.
Player, yeah,
But now this player is no longer there, and ain't nobody replaced him. So now
yeah.
I'm gone with the
With the
player
player,
versus, you know what I'm
exactly.
saying.
Versus,
So,
yeah, yeah,
but in the NFL, you kind of fall in love with the team itself.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's a far push. Y'all should have just kicked the field goal, bro. That's what I would have done. I understand you trying to make it a 3 point game, but that's kind of a far of a try to do a push like that. Like
Yeah,
2 years,
it is, yeah.
because even when I was watching Philly do it earlier,
Yeah.
they were like on the two and what they're trying to do the tush, and they couldn't get
Yeah,
until, of course, you know that one time where Redskins
but it
got
kept,
called for like
yeah,
80 encroachment.
yeah.
Hey guys, this year when the baseball season starts, are we trying to hit up a game?
You wanna come to a game with us? 'Cause we be trying to, like, we went to a baseball game and we had a blast. We all went to a baseball game together.
Yeah, I mean, I
Me,
probably can go to a game. Yeah, I ain't. Well,
me,
that's cool.
yeah, on a Saturday, me, Sean, Eric, Jerome,
Yeah,
we went. We had a lot of fun, man. We had a blast.
I need to start watching more baseball.
Yeah,
That would give us more sports to talk about
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Because I ain't a
You're
big.
not a huge baseball.
Yeah, I
fan.
mean, but I know some
Yeah.
of my stuff of baseball, but I don't follow it like
Yeah.
that. But baseball has always been it's an interesting sport, but
Yeah,
I just never really got into
I'm mad.
staying
'Cause
up on top of it
I'm
because I
mad
like the
'cause
Giants.
my St. Louis Cardinals, man, they ain't been making no moves in the free agency, not a single move.
I'm down for the diamond. Yeah, Eric.
Yeah, we.
Eric, you down?
Yeah, we
You just let me know.
When the season starts,
I'm weak. He's imitating Mike Dicker.
yeah.
That is hilarious.
all right, Eric's down.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go because I don't think last season we didn't go. We went the season before.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
we
I'll be down to do one.
yeah, yeah, we had a blast, man. We all went down there and got the ballpark dogs and popcorn. Somebody. You know, the thing that's been really interesting about basketball this season is all the stories that we've heard this year.
Hmm.
Like, haven't been. It's all been. It's been nothing like that's really been fun. Like the fun stuff. Like I think like cover OKC more. Like nobody's covering
Yeah.
OKC. Nobody's covering Cleveland. All
Or
we keep
Memphis.
hearing about is or Memphis. All we keep hearing about is 76ers playing like not being great and they should be. Like we keep hearing about this stuff with Jimmy Butler and and we're hearing about how bad um, Golden State has looked over the
Recent,
last couple
yeah.
months, and like it's
And
not.
it's always a Laker somewhere in there too.
Yeah, that and that, you know what I mean? But it's like none of the fun stuff. You know what I mean? Like OKC has been fun to watch.
Man, and they've been
Yeah,
balling.
like
And those games they done played with Cleveland.
Cleveland, yeah. Like those have been some great games, and I'm kind of mad because I'm like, why aren't y'all covering the fun stuff? You know what I mean? Like,
Not popular.
yeah,
Least
like,
popular names out there.
Yeah,
Like I understand the Jimmy Butler thing because that is one
That
big
is a
name
big-
and he's
yeah,
gone.
yeah.
You know that is a big deal there.
yeah,
But like, yeah, I would say why wouldn't they? Like
Yeah.
OKC should be covered.
Yeah.
Cleveland should be covered
Covered.
more.
Yeah.
I mean, Memphis has been under the radar the whole season
Yeah.
doing what they're doing.
Right.
But when you have your star players like Steph Curry, he's a household name.
Name. Yeah.
So let's just cover
Yeah,
Golden
let's
State
just
and their
cover.
problems.
Yeah. Their
LeBron
problems.
James, household name. So we're gonna cover the Lakers and what they got
Yeah,
going on.
yeah.
Miami is a household team name. You know, let's cover what they got going on.
Right.
And it's just like they don't really cover a whole bunch of other stuff unless you just doing the Sixers have a big fan base and
Yeah. So
you know, so let's cover
the
this right
negativity.
here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I wish they would do more of that because that would help, especially some of these small market teams
Yeah.
get out there more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Other than, of course, if you have your small market teams, but you got people like Giannis on your squad, then
Right.
you know you get a little press coverage there,
Yeah.
especially if you're not doing good or you do be winning.
Right.
But like, yeah, it's been an interesting season as far as
yeah.
that's concerned.
Yeah.
You know, I would agree. I agree with that. Tell you what's bothering me though is I'm tired of keep hearing people